difference to what we've talked a little bit about is that the chairs are customizable, obviously. They need to be comfortable, they need to fit you the right way. The back of the chair is obviously the support for the athlete sitting inside of it, but is there differences in what you guys are seeing as far as the height of someone's back of their chair?
There is a difference in terms of the height. My chair goes approximately halfway up my back. I don't need the upper support for any kind of stability issue that we've talked about, whereas nor do I need the handle on the back of the chair to get the balance that a quadriplegic needs. A quadriplegic with a higher back certainly needs more stability for the upper part of his or her body. In addition to, when they throw the ball, they do in fact put their arm around, the majority of them, put their arm around the back handle to be able to give that upper body support. So that's principally the reasons that for higher backs for various bowlers.
Yeah, so the ability of the player is going to obviously dictate what they need, and then the technique's going to make a difference as well. Like you said, if you hook the arm, you'll need some support system back there. If you don't, if you're just using the upper body to help control that, you won't need that support. So that's going to vary when it comes from player to player, right?
Yeah, it's basically similar, very similar, or exactly like the chair you use every day. Back height, stability-wise, in everyday activities. My chair actually is the same as my back height's the same as my everyday chair. You know, we have guys that their back goes all the way up to their shoulder blades.
To the shoulders, right?
But you know, it's just preference and how comfortable you are stability-wise in your chair.
Yeah.
Stephen, you heard the word stability a number of times. If you compare that to a walking, able-bodied bowler coming to the foul line, if they don't have good balance at the foul line, their shot's not going to do what they want it to do.
We see it all the time, yeah, from the coach. I love to work with every type of player, but watching the able-bodied, the stand players play, we preach balance all the time. We preach stability. We try to get the shoes the right way. We make sure the lower body's exercised and supporting them. I can see now where the chaired bowlers have that ability to adjust what they need as far as equipment to help, and with their technique to help get as much stability as possible. I would even dare say that possibly the chaired bowlers have more stability underneath them than most of the players that I see that are able-bodied stand-up players. So,
possibly so.
Yeah, thanks for the information on the chairs, and that's good to know. Okay, so here with Kenneth and Eddie, and you guys have got a little different makeup when it comes to the equipment you guys work with on the lanes. Let's talk a little bit about some of the differences between your chairs and what we've already heard from Gary and Wayne.
I think the biggest difference, Wayne and Kenneth have folding chairs, and with those folding chairs, you're going to have some more moving parts.
Right.
With moving parts, you're going to have movement in your ball, maybe not as accurate in hitting your mark. With my chair, it's a rigid. There's no moving folding parts on it. Right. The only thing, as Gary had stated, is we have brakes and 2 pairs of brakes. Caster pins on the front of our chairs keep the front from moving, and the hand brakes on the back of our chairs are the brakes to keep our chair in place. Okay,
so you talk about a solid frame like you've got underneath yours where there's perhaps more stability because there's less moving parts. And Kenneth, you've got, you said a folding chair.
Yeah, right? I have a folding chair, and he's absolutely right. My chair has a tendency to give a lot of movement to it, a lot of wiggle to it. From the years of folding it back and forth, so parts just began to wear out. Part of the screws and everything, just the bearings just kind of wear out.
Yeah.
As a result of that, he's right, yeah. So if I throw the ball, how heavy the ball is, it can make a difference of going over 1 or 2 boards just because my chair has moved. He has caster locks, I don't. So therefore I have a movement in the front. This is a chair I got primarily to live in, not necessarily to bowl in. So it's fitted, it's retrofitted for my living, not my bowling. But that's not to say that a person who lives in a chair can't use that chair to bowl.
Absolutely. You don't have to have a specific chair for bowling. As you get better at bowling, you're probably going to want to get a chair built for bowling.
Sure.
But by all means, come out in the chairs that you're in. Doesn't have to have the caster locks. Very much recommend that it has brakes. We have people who will try bowling without brakes, and we've got 2 guys actually now that roll up and deliver the ball. they have decent scores, but they're never going to get any better than they are now because that chair is moving so much.
Sure. So that equipment's going to make a huge difference, and obviously their score at the end of the day, but also in getting their technique to the point where they can be competitive at a high level like you guys are. You guys are on the professional circuit or the tour, so to speak, whenever you guys go compete month after month in these events. And it sounds like modifying your equipment, it's like any other sport when you think about it. You may start with whatever you like to do just to get out there and get involved with it, but eventually there's places where you'll find a little more improvement. It's something in the chair, something in the setup.
Consistency.
Yeah.
It's consistency.
Absolutely.
If my chair's not moving, then the consistency of my body sitting still, the chair doesn't take that away from me.
Right.
And then also there's you find out even in you're living in a chair, there's parts you take off. For example, I have what's called garment guards right here. They're basically to protect my pants. I only have one on this side. I took the one off this side because I have a tendency to lean over a little bit more. So if I have the guard up there, it's going to be prohibitive for me to be able to be in the best posture to be able to throw the ball. So there's things that you're going to modify the chair that you live in, but it's going to be best for how you're able to bowl in.
Yeah, whether you've got a chair you're going to modify from the one that you're in every day, or you're going to have one that you specifically take to athletic events, it sounds like there's the possibilities are endless when it comes down to it. It's really the athleticism of the individual, and then to what degree or to what level they want to be competitive, they're going to modify their equipment to do that.
That chair is just as important to fit you as a glove so you're not moving in it as it is to have the ball drilled for you. That your equipment is everything, and the chair is just as important as a bowling ball.
Great to know. You guys make it easy when you talk about it. Just like any other sport, it's easy to identify not just where you are in your sport level and where you want to get to, but it's also easy to modify, it sounds like, and make whatever you're looking for possible in the equipment you're going to use.
Correct.
That's correct, Stephen.